Hello everyone. Today we are going to talk about evolution of management thought. And for evolution of management thought, many authors given their contribution, and whatever they contributed till today, these thoughts are helping for the management and implementing management in a business firm. And today we are going to start with the Frederick Winslow Taylor. Between the era of 1856 to 1915, he contributed a lot for developing management or given a scientific views for the management. As we know very well, he was the engineer, worked in many organizations, and during his work he's more focused on to making the work with the scientific way, where he is more focusing on increasing the efficiency. Basically, he's focusing on minimizing the waste. If wastage is minimized, automatically productivity is going to be increased. As well as he tried to focus on to finding out the right methods for doing the work or to complete the jobs, and that right methods may increase the productivity, and increasing productivity affecting on profitability of the firm. So he tried to give the scientific angle for every work in a business firm, and that scientific angle help the business to grow. So whenever we talk about the principles of scientific management, basically they are to achieve the efficiency and reduce the cost by following the scientific approach, which provides the alternative and expected consequences, and increasing efficiency, reducing the cost. We know very well they directly connect with the business profitability. Increasing efficiency increase the profit, whereas reducing the cost again increase the profit. So this is a beneficial for the business firm or the businessmen, those who are implementing the scientific principles in their organization. And according to Taylor, the scientific management means knowing exactly what you want to do and seeing that it is going to be do with the best way and the cheapest way. That is, if we know what we have to do, then we need to find out the best method of doing that work, and that method should select the cheapest way of completing that particular work. So for that, F.W. Taylor, who known as the father of scientific management, he gives a different principles, and till these principles are utilized and directing the managers to work in a business firm. So now we are going to talk about the scientific principles given by F.W. Taylor. The first is science, not rule of thumb. Taylor suggested that each element of the job and the motions required to perform it should be scientifically analyzed and use most efficient ways of doing it. It will not only save the time but also reduce the wastage. That is, every work in organization, if it is performed with scientifically analysis, then there is a possibility of most efficient ways are going to be utilized to complete that work. And because of that scientific methods, the time is going to be saved as well as wastage is going to be reduced. In second principle, he suggests harmony, not discard. That is, Taylor believed that the interest of employer, means owners, top level management, and the employers and employees' interest should be fully harmonized, so as to secure the mutual understanding between them. That is, if employer and employee both are going to be mutually understood each other. That is why employer invested in a business and he created the job opportunities, because he expecting his profitability. Whereas employees also need to know, because of employer, that business is started and the jobs are created. If both are going to be consider each other, there should be no conflict between manager and workers. Many business firms are there, they are following this principle. That is, employer knows very well they are depending on the employees, and employees knows very well because of employee the business firm is working. If both are aware their importance in that organization, just rather conflict, just they understood each other and they are ready to work for betterment of organization, and which is more beneficial to both of them. Employer going to get the profit, whereas employees are going to paid the salaries on time, extra incentives, or if extra work is assigned, there's extra money also available. If the growth of organization or the profitability of the organization increases, yes, may in that organization there is a more scope for that particular employee for the promotion and getting higher salary. So by this way, there is a consideration and the understanding between the employer and employee. The combined efforts of management and employees always helps the business firm to achieve the goals effectively and efficiently. The third principle talks about maximum output in place of restricted output. That is, maximum output and optimum utilization of resources will bring higher profit to the employer. If whatever resources are available, if they are efficiently utilized, there is a possibility of maximum output and it is benefited to the employer, and better ways for the workers. If employer is going to be benefited, yes, it is also going to be benefit to the workers. And for that, Taylor believed that the management and worker should have common interest in increasing productivity. If the profit increases and that profit is going to share with the employees, yes, employees are also ready to help management to work more. Then only there is a possibility of, yes, outcome or output should maximize rather than restricted. Then next is development of each person to his interest or to his greatest efficiency. As we know very well, efficiency of an organization, it is mostly depend on the skills of employees as well as capabilities of the employees. And we know very well when the skillful employees are there and they are ready to carry the responsibility or capability, yes, productivity for each employee, those who are responsible, always increase, and that is more benefiting to the organization. And for this purpose, the proper training to make required skill for a particular work, the proper training, proper selection of employees should be done. And this is possible only through the scientific approach. That is, what kind of work is there in that organization. On basis of work, the requirements are going to be analyzed and then selection took place. This is the right method for the scientific selection of workers or the employees in that organization. And then only after providing the proper training, the work is assigned to each employee. Then that work suits to that employee, and the workers physically, mentally, as well as intellectually, they participate in that work and they complete that particular task. And this ultimately helps to attain efficiency and prosperity of business, which is benefiting to organization as well as employees. Next is cooperation, not individualism. We know very well the business firm in which, yes, everyone work together, rather individual performance is performance of team more effect on the organization. When we talk about the cooperation, we know very well this principle also connects with the harmony not discard. Basically, when we talk about cooperation, the mutual cooperation between worker and management, cooperation between the workers and workers, it is going to be help to develop the confidence, sense of goodwill, and it affects on management as well as worker. And through that, internal competition and conflict, everyone ready to cooperate with each other. Management should always welcome the suggestions of workers and reward them for the best suggestions, and these suggestions are going to benefit to change the method, to change the process, or changing particular tools, equipments, or the machinery. So development of workers is the development of organization took place. Similarly, we know very well, yes, many of times workers should resist from going on strikes or making unnecessary demands from the management if there is a proper coordination and cooperation as well as participation of workers in decision making process. So such a problems of unplanned problems, just like strikes, lockdowns, unnecessary demands of employees, may easily, rather raising such a problems, these problems are never going to be discussed and going to create any sort of problem to the organization. Similarly, F.W. Taylor is focusing on the concept of mental revolution, because the mental revolution is a particular revolution which affect on a mental stage of employees as well as the management, and this mental revolution help business for the long life or sustainable life for the business. Basically, when we talk about the mental life, we know very well the change in outlook of worker as well as the management. The cooperation, the support, coordination with the management help to change the mental thoughts of employees or mental behavior patterns of employees towards the organization, and it will change the atmosphere or the culture in that organization, and everyone run for or everyone work for optimum efficiency, and it gives optimum productivity for the organization. And this mental revolution, just like all efforts for increasing the production, creation of spirit of mutual trust and confidence, as well as developing the scientific attitude towards the different problems in organization. Along with all these principles, some techniques suggested by F.W. Taylor under the scientific management, just like he suggests time study. That is, time study determines the standard time required to carry out particular job under specific condition. That is, for every work, every job, yes, time is need to be set, or that standard time is need to be allocated. And because of that, or because of this time study, the fair day's work or the fair day's targets are going to be determined, and that targets are going to be achieved. So within a particular time period, the particular tasks are going to be complete. Then he suggests motion study. Motion study, which refers the study of movement of operator on machine involved in particular task. That is basically many of times when operator handling the machine, many motions are there. There is no need of any use or useless motions are there, and such a repetitive motions may minimize the productivity of that individual. So to complete the task with the best way, such a unuseful motions need to be minimized, and for that Taylor suggests yes, cameras, stopwatch, symbols, or different motions to identify the different unuseful motions Yes, observation method is used, and by observing particular worker, his work, and then need to be suggest the particular motion those who are not having any sort of use. Then he also suggests the method study. The method study, which is basically aims to eliminating unnecessary operations and achieving the best method to perform the required task. Basically, it is contributes to increase the efficiency, improve the current process and the procedure. And under this method study, the systematic recording and scrutinized inspection of existing and proposed ways of doing work, it is going to be focused. Then fourth is fatigue study. Yes, we know very well, yes, continuous hours of work, continuous hours of job, it may give some fatigue to the workers, just like overburden. Sometimes bad working conditions are there, then productivity of workers are decreased, then sometimes there is no cooperation from the other workers. In such a case, this study or the fatigue study helps to provide the proper rest intervals to the workers to increase the efficiency of that worker. That is, after a particular time of period, the small slot of interval rest should be provided to the employee, which help him to again re-energize himself at that position, and again the same rate of production or the productivity he maintained for all the working hours. And the next is standardization and simplification of the work. Under the scientific management, predetermined standards are going to be set, and these standards regarding the task, material, method, time, quality, cost, as well as working conditions. And this standardization help to simplify the work, to ensure interchangeability of the different parts, uniformity for the operations, optimum utilization of resources, and increasing production and low labor cost. So these are the techniques suggested by the F.W. Taylor. Along with that, he suggests the functional foremanship. This is something unique foremanship he suggested. At supervisory level, yes, one supervisor going to take care for variety of work and he is going to be overburdened, as well as he is not skillful to resolve all the problems at operational level. That supervisor may depend on some other peoples to resolve that problem. So it may delay the work, delay in a work affect on the cost of production. So F.W. Taylor suggests 8 different functional foremans at the operational level, and he suggested first is route clerk. Basically, a route clerk, his work is to lay down the sequence of operations and decide the route through which each piece of work should travel. That is, the particular route, particular sequence of operations is going to be finalized by route clerk. Then instruction card clerk. The instruction card clerk, he has to prepare the detailed instructions for the workers to maintain the work speed. That's it. Then he suggests time and cost clerk. Basically, this clerk, he framed the timetable for doing the various jobs and maintain the particular cost for the particular work. Then shop discipliner. The shop discipliner is going to maintain the discipline in the factory. With the absence of the particular person, or if any sort of violation of the rules, yes, the discipline clerk or the foreman, he is going to take care and he try to maintain that discipline at the shop floor. Then along with that, the gang boss, who is going to take care to keep the machines and tool ready for the operations. Then the speed boss, who is going to take care for the jobs completed in a time or not. The repair boss, if any sort of maintenance for the machines and tools are there, then he is going to take care for the repair at the particular level. And the last is inspector, who is going to check the maintain the quality of work. This is all about the F.W. Taylor and his contribution to the scientific management. That's why he is going to be known till today as the father of scientific management. Thank you.